Hi there, and good morning. Today for poetry, we're going to be doing two things together. The first thing we're going to do together is answer the question, what are similes and metaphors? And then together we're going to do some writing. We're going to write a poem inspired by something from travel that includes simile and metaphor. So let's get started. What are similes and metaphors? A simile is a phrase that uses a comparison to describe with the words like or as. And you can see an example there. She ran like a rocket. A metaphor describes something in a way that isn't really true, but it helps explain an idea or make a comparison to. She is a rocket. It does not include like or as. Let's look at some examples. Last week, Michelle showed us this example in her writing. The simile she used was, "It chomps my page like a hungry shark." She's describing the stapler like a hungry shark chomping a page. She also used a metaphor in her writing. She said, "The stapler is a predator." It doesn't say that it's like a predator, it just says the stapler is a predator. Now, we know that it can't actually be a predator, but it makes us think about something that's dangerous, ooh, that might attack you, and it makes it more interesting for reading. In this example, the simile is, "She ran like a rocket in the race," or "She ran as fast as a rocket in the race." Now, an example of this same comparison as a metaphor, "She is a rocket in the race." We can imagine that she's really fast as a rocket. In this example, it's describing Becky's room. Becky's room was like a freezer. Metaphor? Becky's room was a freezer. Ooh, when I think of that, I think of cold, cold, cold winters in Canada. That's what comes to my mind. He slept like the dead after a long, busy day. I know what that feels like at the end of a long day. A metaphor, using the same comparison, he is dead after a long, busy day. Simile, the sand was like the surface of the sun under his feet. Metaphor, the sand was the surface of the sun under his feet. Oh my goodness. In the metaphor, we know that the sand can't actually be the surface of the sun, but we can imagine how hot it would be because we're thinking of what that feels like. In this example, it's a simile and metaphor to describe Jacob's hair. Jacob's hair is like a cactus. Metaphor, Jacob's hair is a cactus. Here on this slide, you can see a few other examples of similes with like or as. Take a moment now and read just a few of them. Now, I know you didn't have time to read them all, but I'll include these slides in the SEESAW activity, and you'll be able to come back and look again. What are similes and metaphors? Just to recap, a simile is a phrase that uses a comparison to describe with the words like or as. A metaphor describes something in a way that isn't really true, but helps explain an idea or make a comparison. If you want to think about this a little more, or you're thinking, I'd like to be more clear about the difference between these two things, there's a video linked right down here at the bottom of the page that you can have a listen to, have a look at, and it should give you some more clarity. Next, I told you the first thing we're going to do is talk and learn a little bit about similes and metaphors. Now, step 2 today is going to be a writing test. Now, we're going to do this writing test together. I'm going to write, and I'm going to give you time to write, and then you can add to your Seesaw post as you go. So from here, I want you to go to the Seesaw Respond tab and follow the directions in the videos there. See you in a minute.